Hi, welcome to Art from Home with the Westmont Ridley-Tree Museum of Art. I'm Tamara Vaughn, and today we're going to be making djembes. Drums have a huge role in a lot of African cultures. You can see here with this Nigerian drum by the Egbo people. Hear how nice it sounds. Isn't that fun? Well, today we are going to be making djembes right here. The djembe is one of the most versatile and widespread percussion instruments on the planet. It can create a wide range of pitches, from low to medium to high, and these sounds are created by striking different parts of the djembe with your hands. The djembe drum is said to have been invented in the 12th century by the Mandinka people in what is now Mali in West Africa. It has been an important part of spiritual and ritualistic life in West Africa for many generations. It was traditionally used for storytelling, where people would use it to pass on important historical, religious, and cultural information. It's linked to a lot of different things, especially singing and dancing. There are a lot of different dances that have different symbolic meanings, and they're performed at important events like festivals calling for rain or a good harvest, or at ceremonies like births and weddings and funerals. Djembe has a very unique design, and that's kind of what makes it important for its versatile sound. It has this goblet-shaped body, and the drum is carved and hollowed out of a single piece of tree trunk. The Mandinka people traditionally use wood from linge trees, which held great spiritual importance for them, while also lending the drum its resounding acoustic sound. But there's a few different ways that you can create the djembe. The first is adding these very intricate carved designs all throughout, like you can see in this Tongo carved djembe. And it's fun because all the intricately carved work on the sides help you make even more sounds using those carvings. And some djembes, like Paolo Mattioli's signature one, it's simpler, but with a very cool, very expressive design painted on it. Mattioli was a famous drummer who researched the djembe extensively. And then some, like this one from Mali, has fur, and look at those carvings at the bottom. And you can see these strings that are on the side that are used to tune the drum. So this is just a few examples of what people through the years have done with djembes. And today we're going to make a small one for ourselves. So a few things that you will need for this. Some plastic containers like cups or yogurt containers. You'll want masking tape, some paints, some markers, some paint brushes, some scissors, and possibly some balloons. And you can also get some beads and some rubber bands to make bands to go around the middle of the djembe. So let's get started. As you can see, I've got some plastic cups here, as well as a large yogurt container, and then a smaller yogurt container too. But I think we're going to work mainly with this larger yogurt container as well as a plastic cup today. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is, if there's any extra paper on your container or your cup, you are going to want to take that off. And then if you can, it's always nice to add a hole at the bottom of your container as well. And this way, the sound can acoustically go from one end of the drum to the other end of the drum. And so if this is something you need to ask your adult to help you with, you can definitely do that. So I have this, and I have my plastic cup. And the first thing that we're going to do is cover both of these in masking tape. That way you're getting rid of any of the designs that might be on your cup, and then you can paint over it with paint or even with markers if you want to put designs on your drum. So let's get started with this masking tape. You want to be careful to go right around the edge. It'll be a little wrinkly, but that's okay. You just want to cover all of the plastic with tape. So once you have your big container all covered in tape, and your plastic cup all covered in tape, the next thing you'll want to do is put them together. So I cut a hole just big enough for this, the bottom of this plastic cup to fit in. So that way, you have the base of your djembe as well as the top part here. Now you'll want to tape these together to make sure that they stay together. So let's start on that. And just the exact same thing, you want to do it as even as possible, connecting these two together. Press in so it's taped to the bottom as well. So here we have your base and your top here. And now we want to add a little bit on, kind of the skin of the top of the drum. So there's two things that you can do here. The first thing is you can use a balloon. I have a white balloon here, and here's one that I've already cut. I just cut the top of the balloon off, and you can stretch it out and put it over the rim of your cup. So as you can see, the bottom here has a nice sound to it, and it's now covered like this. The other thing, if you don't have a balloon around, you can also cover it with masking tape. So I'm going to do that real quick. You just want to fully cover it. Usually I go one way all the way across, and then the other way all the way across to make it thicker, and it gives a really cool sound. And you want to keep it as tight as possible over the open part of your cup. I have fully covered it here, and what I'm going to do is use some scissors and just cut off this extra all around the sides. Now I'm going to go the other direction. Cut off the sides of this tape as well. Okay, and now we have the base of our drum. It's all ready to go. We have the top. Ooh, that sounds good. And then we have the bottom that you can also play if you want to. And now all that's left is decorating it however you want to decorate it. So what I'm thinking about doing is I'm going to paint the base of this drum. I'm going to paint this brown. And the top, I'm going to do a little triangle design with green and blue. Let's start painting. It does take a little bit of time to dry after you've done this. And because there's going to be wrinkles in your masking tape, you have to paint everything on a little bit thicker, but be really careful just to get into all those crevices. So I am happy with this base being all brown here, and I am going to start and paint my triangles at the top. And so I have here some green paint, and I've got some blue paint in here. I'm just going to use kind of a medium-sized paintbrush here and do just a quick design, a triangle down, a blue, as you can see here. I'm just going to paint that in. And to keep it from taking too long to dry, you want to paint it on pretty thin. And now I've got some green here, and I'm just going to go the opposite direction. Now that I have my first two, I'm just going to do the same thing all the way around, alternating back and forth between blue and green. And now we have the base of our drum as well as the top all painted. As you can see here, all the way around, it's looking good. So let's wait a few minutes and let it dry. So now your djembe is all dry, and so there's just a few things that you can do to decorate it. The first thing, I got some wooden beads and some longer shells with holes in them, and I put them on this rubber band here. I cut the rubber band and then put them on and then tied the rubber band up. And so what I'm going to do with this is put this in the middle. So I'm going to go from the bottom and just bring it up. And so now you have these beads and shells that kind of go around that middle part of your djembe. That looks fun there. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some string onto the top part of this to make it seem like the strings that they use to tune the drum. So what I did, I went ahead and cut 2 longer pieces here and then 6 shorter pieces. So the 2 longer pieces are going to go at the top and at the bottom, and then the shorter pieces we're going to tie around. And I cut these long enough so that it can go around twice and just be a little bit tighter at the top. And you can just tie it with a normal knot. All right, and I'm going to cut off the extra string after the knots. Now we have some string across the top and then another band around that bottom part here. And now I'm going to take these shorter pieces and I'm going to tie a knot at the top and then a knot at the bottom. And now you can see we'll just do this all the way around. You can see it goes from the top to the bottom there. And it's up to you how many things of string you do down. So you could fill it almost fully at the top with tons of string if you want to. But I'm just going to do a few. Cut off the extra string at the bottom and then the top too. And now we have our painted and decorated djembe. And you can play it. I think it works pretty well, and you can even flip it over and play the other side. So I hope you had fun making your djembe today. And remember, we love to see photos of what you've made. So send them along to us, and we can't wait to see what you've done.